Well, it's been over a month since flooding in the Naugatuck Valley. Today, state leaders are going to address how much work has already been done and what they still have to do. I'll have more on that coming up next.
A Connecticut utility company wants to increase rates to fund infrastructure projects. We'll tell you why the Attorney General is condemning the request.
Emergency repairs are now taking place here at the Copon Dam in Ansonia. I'm Julia LeBlanc, and coming up we'll explain why this is happening and what's up next for the future of this property.
All local, all morning. This is Fox 61, Connecticut's news station.
Good Tuesday morning. Thanks so much for starting off your day here with us at Fox 61 and Fox 61 Plus America areas.
And I'm Tim Lammers. Good morning. Happy Tuesday. Let's get you your forecast. Before you head out the doors, we're waiting for the sun to come up. We get over to meteorologist Matt Scott. Good morning.
Good morning. Happy October. We're going to say something.
Yes. No, just October 1st. Wow, that was fast.
Yeah, she was forming a word
September
and I just
flies.
couldn't quite figure out what it was over there. It was like, okay. Yeah, it is October 1st. Yeah, it is coming by fast and furious. Rabbit, by the way, for those of you who are lucky or unlucky. October starts with a little fog. Now, we're not seeing any major reduced visibility. We'll check in with Rachel and the cameras in a moment. Clouds rule. There are plenty of sun breaks like yesterday. Wasn't a horrible day, which is pretty much what we're going to get again today. Dry and warm in the 7-day. We'll talk about that coming up. Got some decent cloud coverage out there, and you do notice the radar's trying to eke out a speck or two of rain, and we might see that. But overall, an easterly component to the winds kind of keep it a little cloudy, a little clammy-ish from time to time, but also holding back all of that rain from that low down to the south and the west. 57 in Hartford, 58 in New Haven, 54 in Groton. Temperatures not terrible this morning, on the way up to the low 70s again. A little bit above normal, even with a decent amount of cloud coverage in there. Coming up, we have numbers that are even bigger. Do we have skies that are even brighter? We will answer that both coming up as we look at the first 7 days of October in the 7-day forecast. 6:02, good morning, Rachel Piscatelli. I was driving into work thinking, man, before you know it, we're going to be talking about...
Don't say it. Don't say it.
You know what I'm talking about.
I know what you're going to say.
You know what I'm thinking.
Yeah, I know.
Okay. Not yet, though.
No. All right, 6:02 right now. And across the board here, no incidents to tell you about. We still have some areas of road work slow to clear this morning, but otherwise, we'll take a live look outside across the state. We're in West Hartford, 84. We have some volume starting to pick up by exit 43. Waterbury, 84 east and westbound. Earlier road work has cleared over in New Haven. That looks okay. And in Fairfield this morning, we do have some minor delays in the area. So your drive times to the state lines here, New Haven to New York, is about 62 minutes. Tim and Erica, good morning.
Good morning. Well, today, state leaders will be in Monroe to talk about how to best use disaster relief resources for the Naugatuck Valley after all that flooding destroyed the area in August.
Yeah, more money and more help centers are being made available this week. Fox 61's Brooke Griffin, she's live at the Capitol right now with what those resources are. Brooke.
Well, it's been about 6 weeks since the Naugatuck Valley saw that just devastating flooding in that area. Now, granted, there's been a lot of efforts to already rebuild, get that cleanup started, and in a lot of places already finished, but there's still a long ways to go. And today, state leaders say they want to kind of take a look at that and see what needs to be done next. Now, on August 18th, that's when 16 inches of rain fell in the Naugatuck Valley, causing deadly flooding that wiped out homes, businesses, and roads. Many people were left without a home and their businesses were just destroyed. Governor Ned Lamont quickly opened state funds for business owners to apply for. The money was set up to help them with the cleanup and the rebuilding. The Small Business Association and FEMA have also been on the ground for many of these weeks. Today, they're going to be back in the valley to address the major concerns still standing to see what help is really needed next on the timeline. Senator Richard Blumenthal was in the valley this weekend. He says the funding supply has not been drained quite yet.
We're going to be exploring other federal programs that the Biden administration has specifically designed to help with resilience so that in the wake of disasters, communities not only rebuild, they rebuild better.
And another thing that's happening this week is going to be over in Southbury, so just down the road from Monroe. The FEMA Disaster Recovery Center will officially open tomorrow in Southbury. That's where there's going to be a lot of people that are experts on filling out that kind of disaster relief paperwork, whether it be for businesses or homes. You can go to that center to get that help with paperwork. It's going to be free. They're just there to make sure that people know what they need to do. However, if you don't need any help, that is still available online. You don't have to go to the center in order to access it. Live in Hartford, Brooke Griffin, Fox 61, Connecticut's news station.
Brooke, thanks for the update there. Well, meantime, emergency repair work is happening at the Copon Dam in Ansonia to lower the water level there. A recent survey found that the dam is in poor condition and poses a threat to human life. Fox 61's Julia LeBlanc has that story.
Those with the Naugatuck Valley Council of Governments say the water levels here at the Copon Dam in Ansonia are dangerously high and need to be lowered, all to save the Metro North railroad tracks across the way, which a recent study found would be at risk during a potential breach of the dam. Now, the dam itself hasn't been operational in more than a decade, currently owned by Kittytown Hydro, Inc. The council is in the process of buying it and right now is handling the repair work. This after concerns were raised about the Metro North railroad tracks washing away in the case of a potential breach. It's something the regulatory agency that oversees the dam also flagged and told them they need to fix. For now, the focus is on lowering the water level, but soon the council is hoping the Connecticut Brownfield Land Bank will hold the property while the council does the designing and engineering work for the dam to figure out if and how it could be removed.
This is going to be a long process, but we're definitely making progress now, and we're hoping that we can acquire the property very soon and continue on with the design and ultimately the dam removal.
At the same time, plans are in place for the removal of the Kittytown Dam just a mile away in Seymour, owned by the same company. In that case, Budrus says fish are being trapped by the dam and can't make their way up the river. Now, the emergency repair work here at the Copon Dam is expected to be completed in a matter of 2 weeks. Now, we did reach out to the current owner of the property, and he says that this should be celebrated, and it is of great benefit to the community. We are in Ansonia. Julia LeBlanc, Fox 61, Connecticut's news station.
Julia, thank you. United Illuminating said it wants to raise its rates by about 9% for the average consumer so it can fund hundreds of infrastructure projects in Connecticut. The company said it's looking for $105 million in new revenue to make that happen. Remember, though, that UI needs to ask the Public Utilities Regulatory Authority for permission to raise any rates. And Attorney General William Tong said he hopes PURA denies that rate hike. Tong released a statement that reads, in part, this revenue grab is a tone-deaf slap in the face to Connecticut families. Electric rates are through the roof right now, and consumers cannot afford to pay more.
The search for survivors continues this morning in western North Carolina as the death toll from Helene continues to go up. We keep hearing people say that the devastation is beyond belief. And despite all of the incoming help, it will still take weeks, months, and even years for those communities to recover. The storm is now being blamed for at least 133 deaths, including 49 lives in North Carolina alone. And that number is expected to go up with as many as 600 people still missing. Some areas remain so isolated that the only way in or out is by air. Others are strangled by long gas lines. Shelters are at capacity, limited food and water, and hundreds of roads still closed. One man is being called a hero this morning after he risked his own life to save a woman from the floodwaters in North Carolina. This video here shows the moments that those raging waters carried away home with the woman inside of it. Now, that's when Eddie Hunnell, who happened to be in town for his son's wedding, jumped into action. With just a life vest and a rope, he got into the water and pulled that woman to safety. From the devastation of Helene, the devastation has left some across the state without a home, including one family in Bat Cave, North Carolina.
Personally, I have lived in the Middle East many years, and this is worse than any war that I've been in. It's horrendous. And I mean, there's no roads. There's no evidence of roads. There's no trees. It's just water and stone. There's nothing left. The firefighters are telling us it's going to be at least 6 months before we see our house again.
President Biden is expected to visit North Carolina tomorrow. He's going to attend a briefing at the State Emergency Operations Center before taking an aerial tour of Asheville. The president has promised that his visit will not disrupt ongoing recovery efforts. And he also says that he plans to visit Georgia and Florida as soon as possible.
We do have breaking news overnight. Israel has troops on the ground in Lebanon. The military there is ordering the evacuation of nearly 24 communities along the Israel-Lebanon border. The Israeli military said it started a limited operation against Hezbollah targets and that it's being confined to an area close to the Israeli border. Israeli said it is to protect citizens who live in Israel on the other side of that border. U.S. Secretary of State Lloyd Austin said he supports Israel's right to defend itself. The Pentagon announced the U.S. will deploy an extra 3,000 troops to the region, along with extra defensive air support.
Also breaking overnight, 45,000 dock workers are off the job this morning after failing to reach a deal between their union and a group representing ports along the East and Gulf Coast. Now, we're learning that those two groups exchanged wage offers, but are still far apart on a deal. The strike is expected to lead to shortages of chocolate, alcohol, and fruits like bananas and cherries.